What if the perfect killer could vanish into thin air after pulling off the impossible? The movie begins with the enigmatic Jackal, a world-class assassin whose mastery of disguise knows no bounds. Disguised as an elderly janitor named Ralph, complete with a hyper-realistic mask and voice imitation perfected through relentless practice, he infiltrates the high-security headquarters of Manfred Fest, a controversial far-right German chancellor candidate. Slipping past every checkpoint with eerie calm, the Jackal moves like a shadow through the corridors. He spots Elias, Fest's son, chatting with his assistant and slips into the adjacent office to prepare. When the assistant walks in unexpectedly, he silences her with a swift, muffled shot from his pistol. A security guard hears the body drop and investigates, only to meet the same fate. Chaos erupts as the Jackal deliberately wounds Elias in the feet, forcing him to flee down the stairs in terror. Elias pleads for his life, but the Jackal vanishes, leaving the young man alive but broken. From the rooftop, the Jackal watches the police swarm below before unleashing smoke grenades into the frenzy, rappelling down the building in a daring escape that leaves authorities scrambling in confusion. Back at his hidden lair, he peels away the intricate prosthetic layers to reveal a strikingly youthful, unassuming face. Eddie Redmayne's chilling transformation into the cold, calculated predator. He studies wind patterns meticulously, resting up for the true strike ahead. The next morning, news of the attack on Elias floods the airwaves as Manfred Fest races to the hospital in his armored convoy. The Jackal, positioned in a nearby building overlooking the chaotic scene filled with protesters, assembles a state-of-the-art long-range sniper rifle with a magnetic trigger. He tests the scope with precision, zeroing in perfectly. As Fest steps out of the car amid heavy security, the Jackal takes the shot, an impossible distance that shatters records, striking Fest fatally as he enters the building. A guard spots the muzzle flash through binoculars, but the Jackal spares him, packing up swiftly and leaving a deadly bomb behind. Police storm the room just in time to trigger the explosion, while the Jackal detonates his getaway car in an underground lot, erasing every trace. Hey, if you're loving this high-stakes thriller recap and want more epic breakdowns like this one, don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now. It really helps our channel grow so we can keep delivering these intense fantasy and action recaps together. Turn on notifications too, so you never miss a drop. Across the channel, MMI6 weapons expert Bianca Pullman watches the shocking reports unfold from home, where her husband Paul and daughter Jasmine are glued to the TV. They're also catching an interview with tech billionaire Dag Charles, who's hyping his revolutionary software, River, designed to expose hidden billionaire transactions and upend global finance. Bianca's instincts ignite. She pores over the details the next day and is stunned. The shot came from over 2 miles away. At an urgent briefing, she crashes the meeting despite not being rostered, grilling German intelligence on the distance and barrel length. Everyone dismisses the idea of a collapsible rifle capable of such accuracy due to alignment issues, but Bianca knows better. She points to gunmaker Norman Stoke, a reclusive genius who's been experimenting with exactly that technology for years. Her supervisor, O, is skeptical of the thin lead, but Bianca's conviction burns bright. She's determined to track Stoke down. Bianca stays behind for a tense conversation with senior MI6 official Isabel Kirby, who presses for more on Stoke. Bianca reveals he's the same craftsman linked to a previous high-profile assassination, and Isabel warns her not to fail. Meanwhile, the Jackal arrives in Paris, logging into the dark web from a quiet cafe to collect his payment for the Fest hit. An anonymous new offer pings in, demanding an in-person meet for a massive contract. He refuses at first, but when the figure hits 10 million just for the discussion, he bends his rules. Bianca heads to Northern Ireland to meet her contact, codenamed Sparrow, revealed as a woman named Allison, wife of Stoke's brother. Allison claims no recent contact with Stoke, but Bianca senses the lie and pressures her to arrange a meeting. Allison reluctantly agrees to try. The Jackal heads to a quiet, remote spot in Sweden to meet his mysterious new client. A woman named Zena arrives at a hidden cabin. She tells him the target is the billionaire Dag Charles, the creator of the powerful software called River. The Jackal demands a huge fee of $100 million for such a risky, high-profile job. When Zena says she needs to check with her bosses, he simply disappears. Bianca grows frustrated because Allison won't talk, so she starts digging into Allison's daughter, Emma. Emma is part of a radical leftist protest group. At one of their demonstrations, Bianca sets up Emma's arrest on fake charges. She claims Emma assaulted a police officer. From behind a one-way mirror, Bianca watches Emma deny it all and asks for a lawyer. That's just the opening Bianca needs. She tells Emma to call her mother right away, then has her locked in a cell. The pressure builds fast and hard. Tragically, Emma suddenly has a heart attack while in custody. She's rushed to the hospital and Bianca watches nervously as a second attack hits. Doctors try everything, but Emma doesn't make it. Allison calls Bianca in a rage. She knows Bianca is behind it. Bianca stays cold and denies any role, refusing to say Emma has died. Instead, she demands Stoke's phone number. A serious meeting follows with Isabel O and a man named Mr. Carver, who specializes in covering up MI6 problems. Carver insists the agency must stay completely disconnected from Emma's death. O wants to cancel the whole operation, calling it a pointless chase, but Bianca fights back. Stopping the assassin who killed a major political figure is worth far more than one sad loss. Isabel agrees with her, and Carver promises to hide Emma's death for just 24 hours. Bianca then lies to Allison, saying Emma will be freed if she hands over Stokes' contact. Back home in Spain, the Jackal returns to a warm welcome from his wife Nuria and their young son Caro. For a moment, we see the gentle side hidden under his killer's mask. He studies Charles obsessively and realizes River could expose and destroy secret billions. The client from the fest job refuses to pay the rest, sparking the Jackal's icy anger. Nuria notices he's upset. He brushes it off as a client who won't pay and mentions a big new job that could let him spend more time with them. Meanwhile, Xena meets her boss, the powerful businessman Timothy Winthrop. He wants proof the Jackal can succeed before River goes live. At the same time, Allison pushes her husband Larry to reach out to his brother Stoke for money. She's desperate after what happened to Emma. The Jackal throws a joyful birthday party for Caro with family around, but a bank message shows where the non-paying client is. He packs quietly, disappoints Nuria, and leaves, saying it's urgent work. What would you do if you found out your happy family life was hiding the darkest secrets? Comment below. Would you face it directly or just walk away for good? Bianca carefully studies video of the disguised Jackal. She notices every clue: a backpack sold only in Britain and his sharp military-style moves. She asks Isabel for more time to pressure Allison, but time is running out. The Jackal travels to Germany after Xena says her bosses accept his price. They want an in-person meeting, and he agrees, but only on his rules. Allison secretly takes a photo of Stokes' phone number while Larry is distracted at a bar. Bianca hurries home for dinner with Paul's sons, but the photo alert yanks her away. She gets ready and flies to Latvia with MI6 agent Spencer to track Stoke. Xena goes to a park bench for the next meet, not knowing the Jackal is following her in disguise. They bargain hard. He sticks to $100 million and takes a $20 million down payment. The full hit must happen in just weeks, right before River launches and everything changes. With a $20 million advance secured, the Jackal wastes no time hunting the client who stiffed him on the fest payment. Tracing the deposit to a shadowy trust company called Heaney, he digs deep into corporate records and uncovers a damning connection. The trust links straight back to Elias Fest's inner circle. Elias, the son he deliberately spared and wounded, had ordered the hit on his own father. Cold fury ignites in the Jackal's eyes. This is no longer business, it's personal principle. Meanwhile, Bianca and her MI6 team storm Norman Stokes' remote cabin hideout in Latvia. Weapons drawn, hearts pounding. Bianca calls for surrender, unaware of the deadly traps waiting. A bomb detonates at the entrance, wounding one agent fatally. Stoke unleashes a ferocious barrage, ripping through another operative before fleeing into the woods. Bianca pursues relentlessly in a brutal running gunfight, bullets tearing through trees and snow. But Stoke slips away under covering fire. She calls for extraction, then spots the discarded suitcase Stoke dropped in his haste. Inside, fragments of the legendary collapsible rifle. Bianca pieces it together on the spot, proving to her skeptical superiors that this impossible weapon is real. Back at headquarters, O berates Bianca for the botched raid and lost lives, threatening to shut her down. Undeterred, she presents the reassembled rifle pieces, demonstrating exactly how the Jackal achieved his record-breaking shot. Impressed, O and Isabel keep her on the case. Bianca leaves a voicemail for Allison, breaking the news of Emma's death with a hollow apology and offering to talk in Spain, her voice laced with calculated regret. In Spain, Nuria's mother presses her daughter about the Jackal's endless absences and suspicious behavior, insisting it's not normal. Nuria defends him at first but grows uneasy. She confronts him directly over the phone, revealing she saw him pass in a taxi. He denies it smoothly, but Nuria demands a video call to prove his location. Doubts creep in as he dodges her request to visit Amsterdam. Alone, Nuria searches his office and closet, discovering a hidden safe buried in the floorboards. Her heart races at the secrets it might hold. Allison and Larry travel to England to identify Emma's body, but Larry, shattered by grief, sends Allison ahead alone. Bianca shadows her to a quiet park bench. There, amid raw sorrow, Bianca offers condolences while still denying any role in Emma's arrest. Allison, grieving yet defiant, refuses to reveal Stokes' location, even when Bianca threatens imprisonment for aiding a fugitive who killed MI6 agents. Allison storms off, unbroken. Later, Larry receives a call from Stoke himself, his suspicion flaring as he realizes Allison's recent obsession with contacting his brother. He snatches her phone, sees the betrayal, and in a heartbreaking confrontation, Allison tries to flee, but Larry drags her back, rage and despair colliding. Carver launches an internal investigation into the Stoke raid leak, interrogating agents including Bianca. O pulls her aside secretly, warning that only Damien or Isabel could have tipped Stoke off. Her circle must tighten immediately. That night, Nuria and her mother pore over house blueprints, discovering a hidden room behind the closet wall containing an even larger safe. They fail to crack the code, but Alberto suggests tracking the manufacturer for a reset. The Jackal receives his final advance from Xena and moves like a ghost through a parking lot, ambushing Elias Fest's driver, killing him silently, and assuming his identity. At Manfred Fest's funeral, Elias rides in a heavily guarded convoy. Suddenly, the driver turns on the bodyguard beside him, speeding away in a blistering, high-speed chase through city streets. Elias recognizes the Jackal's face and begs for mercy, offering any price to live. The Jackal's voice is ice. It's about principle. He executes Elias with merciless precision, plants a bomb in the car, and vanishes as the vehicle erupts in flames when backup arrives. Hey, if you were the Jackal and someone betrayed you by ordering a hit on their own family, would you let them live for a second chance or settle the score no matter the cost? Tell me in the comments. What's your take on that brutal sense of principle? Bianca receives a message from Allison proposing a meet, but tension mounts elsewhere. Nuria, Alberto, and her mother watch as Alberto finally breaches the hidden vault. Inside, a chilling workshop of disguises, stacks of cash, weapons, fake documents, the full arsenal of a master assassin. Unknown to them, the Jackal watches every move through hidden security cameras, his expression unreadable. German intelligence briefs Bianca on Elias's death. He orchestrated his father's murder but was eliminated by the assassin for non-payment. No clear description of the killer emerges, leaving her frustrated and empty-handed. Driving alone, the Jackal becomes distracted by a bird in flight, rear-ending a delivery truck. He offers generous compensation, but the driver insists on police involvement. When the officer demands to search the trunk and spots the gun amid cash, the Jackal acts with lethal speed, shooting the cop, framing the driver, and staging the scene before fleeing into the night. O calls Bianca into an urgent meeting. Intercepted chatter hints at another high-profile target, but the identity remains coded. Nuria's family debates involving the police, but Alberto refuses to turn on the man he now knows as family. The Jackal phones Nuria, inviting her to Paris for a long-overdue truth. She agrees, though her goodbye lacks the usual warmth. Bianca consults a former military sniper who admires the Fest shot, but attributes part of it to luck. He pegs the Jackal as ex-British Army, then mentions a legendary figure, Alexander Duggan, presumed dead a decade ago. Bianca has Damien dig into Duggan's records. In Paris, the Jackal confesses partial truce to Nuria. He claims to handle industrial espionage for corporations, using fake identities and occasional illegal stuff. Nuria erupts in anger. He's endangered their son. He swears this is his final job, promising they'll be safe and together forever. She makes him vow never to lie again. Larry sits beside Allison's lifeless body, grief twisting into vengeance. Using her phone, he lures Bianca to a nighttime meet. She arrives wary, but Larry ambushes her viciously. Bianca fights back fiercely, escaping and calling MI6 emergency. Agent Vince, an old friend nearby, coordinates backup. She tries leading Larry into a trap, but he vanishes onto a passing barge across the river. At his apartment, they find Allison dead, another life claimed in the crossfire. Isabel demands results amid the growing mess and approves reassigning Vince to Bianca's team for trust and regular updates. Charles, the billionaire target, learns of the contract on his life during a swim on his private island. Unfazed, he refuses to cancel the river launch in Estonia, deeming it too monumental. He scouts the Tallinn venue himself, a grand concert hall with a soaring stage. The Jackal identifies a perfect high vantage point above it all, but as he tests the spot, the section opens unexpectedly, nearly sending him plummeting to his death. He catches a wire at the last second, climbs back, and recovers his dropped phone with an employee's unwitting help. Bianca returns home to a nightmare, Larry holding a knife to Jasmine's throat. She shoots him in the leg instantly, dropping him. Demanding Stokes' location, Larry stays silent even as she presses the barrel to his head. Jasmine's plea stops her from pulling the trigger. The Jackal confronts Xena in his apartment, glaring as she warns that her powerful employers demand he follow the plan without rogue moves like killing Elias. He spares her, deciding to play along for now. They travel by boat to Tallinn, where Xena offers full support. Spotting a woman with a walking prosthetic, inspiration strikes the Jackal. At the hospital, Bianca and Vince interrogate the wounded Larry. Alone, she begins suffocating him with his pillow, offering to spare Stokes' life and limit prison time if he talks. Larry finally breaks, revealing Stokes' Budapest hideout in detail and admitting Stoke leaked Bianca's location. Someone inside MI6 is feeding him intel. Bianca pieces it together. The next target is Charles. She and Vince brief O, who demands Stokes' coordinates for logistics and under-the-table support. Bianca reluctantly shares, and O promises a ready team. The Jackal arrives in Budapest, greeted by a wounded Stoke who notes how much skinnier he looks in person. Bianca rushes to find Paul and Jasmine, now staying with Paul's ex-wife after Larry's terrifying home invasion. Tensions explode as Paul's ex accuses Bianca of letting her dangerous work destroy their family, Paul barely recognizes the woman he once loved, insisting it's too much for Jasmine. Bianca defends herself fiercely. In her world, hesitation means death for innocence. Meanwhile, the Jackal arrives at Stokes' Budapest compound, eyeing the arsenal with a haunted gaze. A military sniper rifle triggers dark flashbacks to his past life. He commissions an entirely plastic rifle with a removable trigger designed to conceal inside a prosthetic walking aid. Nuria, back home, urges Alberto to reseal the hidden safe and erase any trace of their intrusion. Unaware, the Jackal watches every move through his cameras. Hours later, the Jackal and Stoke bond over the meticulous printing of the weapon. During a break, the Jackal presses Stoke about the Latvia attack. Stoke admits a black English woman with a Glock nearly took him down, but an anonymous tip saved him. The Jackal realizes it's MI6 and warns Stoke that failure to stay hidden will cost him everything. Bianca locks onto Stoke's Budapest location and races there with Vince and a strike team. The Jackal and Stoke finalize the disguise rifle. He tests it in a remote wooded area, stabilizing with rope, adjusting scope, and obliterating a watermelon with a devastating special round. As the Jackal drives back, Nuria calls pretending everything's fine. He ends up tailing Bianca's car unknowingly. She and the team cut power to the area and storm the compound. The Jackal warns Stoke of the incoming raid. Stoke scrambles to erase evidence, but unleashes hell when they breach. A ferocious firefight erupts. Stoke is captured, bound, and interrogated about the Jackal's identity. He stays silent. Bianca finds a Jackal's bag and realizes he's nearby. She threatens eternal imprisonment for both brothers, revealing she tortured Larry for the location. Stoke lunges in rage, only to be shot dead through the window by the Jackal himself. The team pinpoints his position. He leaps onto a horse and flees into the forest. Bianca and Vince pursue in a car, trading gunfire. The Jackal is unhorsed by a hit but warns them off with a precise vest shot. Bianca nearly ambushes him. He bolts, leaps a cliff into a freezing river, and vanishes as she empties her clip into the water. Shivering and wounded, the Jackal staggers to an abandoned barn for shelter, only to be knocked out and bound by the owner, Attila. Morning brings a furious confrontation in Hungarian. The Jackal tries English and German to no avail. Attila frees him, but spots the rifle and holds him at gunpoint, calling his brother Gabby. Gabby enlists farmhand Lowe, who speaks English, to negotiate. The Jackal offers cash for freedom. Gabby accepts, but they encounter cops searching for a foreigner involved in a shooting. At the farmhouse, Attila forces food on the Jackal, who knocks him out cold. He packs to flee, but cars won't start. Gabby and Lowe return, discover Attila dead, and open fire. The Jackal shoots Gabby from beneath a car, then takes Lowe hostage. MI6 swarms Stokes' compound. Bianca secretly pockets the Jackal's jacket. News breaks of bodies at the farm. She's ordered back to London by Isabel to lead a task force, but refuses. The Jackal is here. O insists. She defies. The Jackal forces Lowe to drive, fakes a desperate call to Nuria, claiming he's in mortal danger. She reveals she knows the secret room. Turns out she visited a divorce office but chose to stay. He guides her on what to retrieve. At the farm, Bianca learns prints were lifted. O diverts her to Tallinn. Charles's river launch is in 4 days. Hey, if you were Bianca and finally had the Jackal in your crosshairs after all the blood, the betrayals, and the losses, would you take the shot no matter who got in the way or hold back for justice? Drop your answer in the comments right now. What would you do in that heart-pounding moment? The Jackal releases Lowe with a chilling warning. Speak to police, and his family dies. He meets Sina at a cafe. She knows he's in Hungary and reassures her worried clients he'll deliver. Nuria lands with a disguise. He transforms into an elderly man in a wheelchair before her eyes. At the airport, he passes right by Bianca and Vince, who are rerouted to Tallinn. Both parties land. The Jackal removes his disguise in his apartment, fending off curious cops with a fake ID. He befriends theater employee Rasmus over drinks, spending the night together to gain access. Xena offers to eliminate Bianca and Vince. He declines, planning solitude until the hit. Bianca and Vince build a likeness from their brief sighting and distribute it. Charles ignores warnings to cancel the launch. Nuria allows Alberto into the safe for cash. He steals extra in the gun, unseen by her, but watched by the Jackal. He convinces Rasmus to sneak him into the theater that night. A female cop recognizes the sketch. Hitmen ambush Bianca and Vince outside their transport. Bullets fly, their car crashes. They survive, realizing a contract is out on them too. SWAT raids the Jackal's empty apartment. The Jackal bids Rasmus farewell. The Jackal infiltrates the Tallinn concert hall disguised as an elderly man with a prosthetic walking aid, smuggling his plastic rifle inside. He buys snacks, endures the show, then crawls into a hidden crawl space above the stage to assemble and wait, sleeping through flashbacks of his soldier days and his first tender meeting with Nuria. Bianca and Vince brief security chief Keith with a likeness and the Jackal's jacket for tracking dogs. Keith locks down the venue for sweeps. The next day, Charles emerges for his speech behind bulletproof glass. The Jackal silently eliminates a nearby guard and another with a sharpened credit card taking position. As Charles speaks, a man rushes the stage with a gun, causing the Jackal to miss a shot. Chaos erupts. Agents whisk Charles away. The Jackal blends into the fleeing crowd and escapes into the streets. Rasmus spots him outside and calls out. When he catches up, the Jackal brutally kills him, leaving his body in the shadows. If this heart-stopping recap of the Day of the Jackal episodes 1 to 7 had you on the edge of your seat, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to Great Animation Recaps and turn on the notification bell to be the first to catch the full season breakdown, more epic thriller recaps, and every twist we uncover next. Drop your predictions for what happens in the finale below. What's the Jackal's next move? Comment, share with a friend who loves spy thrillers, and watch our other videos for more intense storytelling. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.